Starfish Replicas presents Preparing a Replica from Out of the Box to Antiquing. Part 2, Getting it Ready to Paint. Using a pair of heavy-duty scissors, you'll remove the pectoral fins and, if necessary, trim away any excess flashing. I like to start with the dorsal fin. If it's a spiny dorsal, carefully notch out the flashing between the spines. In some cases, a rototool with a small drum may be used. Continue to work around the fish, shaping the fins and tail, and finishing up at the pelvic fins. You may also use a sharp paring knife to cut in along some of the fins as well as the corners of the lips. Now, using a roto tool with a 60 grit drum head, clean up the seams starting at the head, going around the lips, then the gill covers. Finish by touching up the center seam. Next, feather the back sides of the fins to create a thin edge. Lightly tap the fin edges with varying pressures to create a rough look. You'll want to prepare the pectoral fins at this time. Shape, feather, and rough up the edges. Scuff up the fin butts and the spots on the fish where they will go. Now we're going to work on the seams. In our shop, we like to use auto body filler. Others like to use epoxy putty. Either will work. Begin at one end and work your way to the other. Start along the top and moving toward the head. Go around the lips, throat, and the gill seam, and then finish it out at the tail. When the Bondo sets, use a rasp to remove the excess, leaving you a sandable surface. Next, we're going to attach the side fins. Drill 2 or 3 small holes on both spots where the pectoral fins go. Do the same to the fin butts. Use a small amount of Bondo on each surface. Apply a little more to fill the gap from the front. Prop the fin in place until it dries. Now use a rasp or paring knife to remove the excess. Sand along the seams, mouth, fin edges, and gill covers, using first a 40 grit, then an 80 grit sandpaper. Now to do some detail work, we're going to mix a small amount of epoxy putty. Apply the putty to the fin butts, smooth in shape, then press in the pattern with a piece of stiff packing foam. You can also finish the seams with 2-part putty instead of Bondo. Click the link to learn how we make scales. Now we're going to install the eyes. Click the link to learn how we install eyes. Using lacquer thinner, clean your replica thoroughly to prepare it for priming. Mask off the gills using either tape or plastic bags. Insert a plastic bag in the mouth to cover the gill rakers. Begin priming carefully, covering only the seams. Using a cardboard shield should help reduce overspray on the fins. Should you have overspray on the fins or eyes, use a Q-tip with some lacquer thinner to remove it. Now you're ready to antique.